United won, FC Twente won. I didn't watch this game. Don't know if any of you did last night. But
I didn't see the game, but I saw a lot of the fallout.
Yes, I saw the fallout.
Eric Ten Hag made a point of saying that Twente wanted it more. That's quite a damning thing to say.
Or was it one of the players that said it?
No, it was Eric Ten Hag.
Did he say that as well?
It was Eric Ten Hag
that
I saw said it.
Disturbing. The fact that he should even say that himself.
He should probably keep that.
Yeah, as a manager, I'm not
Or it's a
I might
message
say
he's
it to
sending
them in
out.
the changing room, but to go out, especially when you know you've got problems already, and go out.
The thing is with that comment is, if you make that comment in your first season, people will be like, oh, okay, so it's the players. And we're going to have to start gutting this squad, and we're going to have to start making changes because the manager's coming with a certain mentality, a certain expectation, and the players are not living up to it.
Oh, maybe it was Ericsson that said that, not Ten Hag.
Yeah,
sorry.
so even from a player's perspective, but to have that said 3 years down the line, it's a bit concerning because
Even if a team member is saying, let alone the manager, it
that's
doesn't matter. You shouldn't be saying that,
yeah,
should you?
that's the team that's being built now in year 3, and they're not serious about a game against FC Twente. I mean,
Someone said losing to numbers is crazy.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's losing to numbers 20p FC. Do you know what I mean? It's mad.
Eric Ten Hag used to play for 20p FC.
Yeah, well, it was a draw. It probably felt like a loss. I saw some fallout. KG, I gave a phone call to, checked if he was okay, because he's always good at phoning me when my team's got problems.
He's very good at that.
Saeed was ranting once again, so it's happy days.
What do you make of the Bruno Fernandes conversation that is emerging in the United fan base?
This is my thing. What conversation needs to be had about Bruno Fernandes that hasn't been had already? It's very obvious that he is the type of 10 that will give the ball away, that will be kind of slapdash with some of his passes, and this is how he's always been. And maybe the goals or the stats have covered this, but this is the type of player he is. You can watch a Bruno Fernandes play and you can watch an Elise at Palace and you can clearly identify who the better player is. And he's gone to Bayern Munich and he's smashing it. That's the type of player you build your team around.
You're right, but I think with Bruno, I think more and more now, it's not so much...
After the new contract, that's a problem, isn't it?
It's not so much. It's not just what he produces on the pitch, but there's a prevailing view that his attitude is one of he couldn't be bothered.
Well, after they gave him that new big contract that every Man United fan said he deserved.
I've never questioned work rate or effort. I know maybe he can look a bit, whatever, sometimes a bit frustrated. But
always,
I think he always gives his all. I think the problem with Bruno Fernandes is exactly what Matisse said. You know what you're going to get. If you want a high volume player who's going to attempt a lot of crosses, attempt a lot of through balls, attempt a lot of shots, in the hope that sort of one of them comes off, because he does have the quality to do most things with the football, then be prepared for him to wind you up loads. And sometimes he'll be brilliant, sometimes he won't. It's not the kind of midfielder I like. I like an orchestrator. I like someone who is going to get on the ball and play. I've always preferred the Eriksen in his heyday type midfielder, Erdegaard or whatever. Bruno Fernandes I've never loved because he's just a profile of midfield I don't love, but you know what you're getting from him. It's not.
Do you think though that United fans would say that he's still undroppable from that team?
I think they're in massive debate about it. Let us know in the comment section.
Who comes in? Mount.
So if you listen to Saeed's little rant, another one, there was something that he highlighted that kind of caught my attention. So what you were saying in the dying embers of the game, so they get a free kick. So Saeed saying most players of his experience and stature would have put the ball in the box, hoping, whereas he just went straight for a shot and he just went out there. And he said that kind of exemplified his performance. It was all about him. He wasn't really interested in contributing to the team. So
I just don't think he sets tempo enough in a game. I don't think he controls a game. He's part of the reason why they are so hot and cold, so much of a back and forth with teams. I don't think he can actually relax the football, string together 5-6 passes, 1-2s with his teammates, and actually set the pace of a game, which is probably the type of 10 that you're talking about. But it's too late. It's too late now.
10 that is working for the team, and you got another one that is more performances for his own.
But the thing is, the conversation that we're trying to have is too late to have, because they've just given him a new bumper contract. They've put him above the other players that have been underperforming on big contracts when they had Sancho, Rashford's, and they've said he deserves it more than them, which I don't disagree with. But now after you've done that, a couple of weeks later, we can't be talking about, how do we get him out of the team? Or, I'm sorry, that's your captain. He has to play.
And sorry, final thing I'll say on this is that also what we can't do is this trade-off of Bruno is someone who wants to give you high volume outputs, so therefore you can't have the other things, because look at someone like Cole Palmer who can control a game of football. It can all flow through him, but he can get the goals and assists. Like, it's just a flaw of his game, Bruno Fernandes. If you're willing to put up with it, you're willing to put up with it. I wouldn't be, and understand Said's frustrations.
Maybe it's the lack of someone else who's
some enough
available
fans as
to
well.
come in and do that job. You know, if maybe it would be Mason Mount, but is he good enough?
He's not an orchestrator.
Well, no,
football
but if
either.
you're
He's
talking about who could possibly in that team come in and do that, then who would you be looking at to do it?
you go for a more workmanlike
I
midfield.
think
You
the
go for the
frustration with the United fans is he's clearly a very talented player, but is he doing it for the overall benefit of the side, or is he tending to do his own thing a bit too much?
Too
I
early
think that was the
to-
point
Too
that
early.
Said was making.
Too early to credit Ineos then? I know. No?
Too early to credit Ineos
Yeah.
for what?
Well, there was
What
a lot
we
of credit for
crediting them
Ineos
for?
a few weeks ago
Oh,
on this
well,
show.
you know how they. You know how
Too early or what?
We
It's
know
too
there's a
early
lot
to do
of
anything
We know
on
there's
the
some
Calma on that one.
Calma.